So I recently did a video about the one thing I don't like about the Parrot ANAFI. And all I had to do with is the ANAFI's log profile called PLOG. I could never figure out how to grade it. Well, I think I figured it out. So you know I had to hook you up too. So I'm going to be showing you this coming up next.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
No, it's Gadget Inspector. So here's the secret weapon, you guys. This little thing right here. It's a color correction card for video. Now this one is the Xrite Color Checker Passport Video, and it is not cheap. It's going for $149 out on Amazon. Now there is a version that's $20 less, but you can find other less expensive color correction cards. But based on my research, the Xrite is going to be the most accurate. Now if you know different, please put it down in the comment section and enlighten the rest of us. So what does this thing do? Well, in a nutshell, it provides a method for ensuring that you nail your exposure settings by correcting white balance and inaccurate colors your camera may be reproducing. And this is a big and, it also enables you to get accurate skin tones. The color checker reflects what true-to-life colors should look like and makes color correction easy and efficient. It's also a great way to match images from different cameras like Canon and Sony, for example. Now, in addition to the color checker, you're also going to need a free piece of software called MBR Color Corrector 3, which just makes this process super simple. Let me show you how to get this set up, and then we'll correct some footage from the ANAFI that I shot in PLOG. Okay guys, here we are at the MBR Color Corrector 3 website. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I do want to show you that this website is pretty thorough. The instructions are really good. So you can totally come here, grab the instructions, walk through it, and you'll be fine. Now I'm using an M1 Mac Mini. So that's what I'm going to be walking through today because there's an extra step that you have to go through. So I'm going to walk through that with you. But if you're on Windows, you've got instructions here. And if you're on any other Mac OS other than Catalina or Big Sur, it should be fairly straightforward. But here you can see here that this particular program also supports other color charts. You can see the spider checkers and we're using, obviously I'm using the Xrite Color Checker Passport Video. I'm going to scroll down here. Okay, so this is where you can download the trial version, and this is the version that I recommend that you download because you get everything you need. Here's the manual. We're going to go in here in a second, but I want to show you something else. This is where you can download the full version, and then you can see all of the programs that this particular software will support. It's mainly Adobe Suite products, so After Effects and Premiere Pro. That's primarily what this program is for. Okay, so you can see that here. And to the point that I was making, Mac OS, Catalina, and Big Sur, there's some extra steps that you have to go through there. So I'm going to let you go ahead and download the software now, and I'll wait for you. On second thought, just pause the video. Okay, you're back, I'm back. Let's go. All right, we're going to go to the manual here. So let's click on the manual. And like I said, man, this is pretty thorough. It takes you through installation steps, and then it even shows you how to load it in Premiere Pro and how to use the darn thing. And this is what I followed myself, so it's pretty good. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you the installation instructions so you can see. So here's the instructions for Windows. So if you're on a Windows PC, these are the instructions you would follow. And if you're on a Mac, here are the instructions here. Now, go ahead and click on the step-by-step instructions because they give you pictures. Pictures are always better. All right, so we're going to click on this for Mac, right? All right, so here we go. Okay, you're just going to make sure you have that file downloaded. You're going to open that zip file. Okay, and what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to open two Finder tabs, two tabs in your Finder windows. Okay, boy, that was sacrilege. I shouldn't have called them windows, but you know what I mean. Okay, so your first window should have the program in it. Okay, you're going to open a second window. Now what you're going to do, the easiest way to go about it is to click on go to folder, and you can essentially copy and paste this path right here into here. I've already done it, and hit go, and then that'll take you to it. Okay, that'll take you right to the file you need. Okay, so you can see that's open just like that right there. Let's scroll down. Okay, so you can see when you first open it, only this file will be there. Since I've already done this, my plugin is there. But essentially what you're doing is you're copying this plugin from the file that you downloaded into this folder here. Okay, so it should look just like that. All right, now if you're not running Catalina or Big Sur, you're pretty much done. You can go to the next step, which is essentially opening up Premiere Pro, and you'll find that plugin has already been loaded. But what we have to do, we have some extra steps that we have to go through. Okay, so here's what we have to do, right? It's walking us through it right here. You're going to need to open up Terminal. In these two operating systems, when you go to open the file, you're going to get an error message. And I actually did get this error message when I tried it the first time. In order to remedy this is a workaround here. So we're going to have to open up Terminal. Okay, and to open up Terminal, you're going to go to Launchpad and find Terminal, or you can just search for it if you don't know how to get to it. And this is what's going to open up. And what you're going to do, copy this, right? Copy this into this field. Now I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it again, but just copy this in to this field here and then press enter. Same thing here. Copy this. Oops, copy the whole thing. Copy this, enter it here, press enter. Then it's going to ask you for your password, and this is going to be the password you use to unlock your Mac. Okay, so it's going to ask for your password. Once you've done all of that, this is what it should look like. This is what that terminal window should look like. That's how you know you did it right. Okay. All right. Now that you've done that, you can go ahead and open up Premiere Pro, and the plugin should be in your effects. So you just go to your effects. All right. We're going to go to video effects. We're going to go to color correction, and there's the plugin, MBR Color Corrector 3. You're in business now, baby. All right. You're in business. Okay guys, before we get to PLOG, I want to show you something. I want to show you how powerful this program is and why correcting your colors is super important, not just for drone footage like this, but for any footage in general. So I highly recommend, I probably already said this, but I highly recommend investing in a color card if you're really serious about your video. Okay, so in this clip right here, this is just a natural profile or auto profile on the ANAFI, and you can see I'm holding up the color corrector card. Okay, nothing's been applied to this yet, so you can see what the ANAFI is outputting. Notice there's a yellowish, kind of a yellowish green hue on everything, kind of a yellow cast on everything. I notice it in pretty much all of the ANAFI's footage. Okay, can you see that? You notice that? Okay, I think you'll notice it more. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. You see that? It's kind of slight, but can you see that yellow is gone now? It's gone. See that? So this looks more true to life. I'm going to turn it back on and see if we can notice. See that? Okay, so I just wanted to show you that this is just with the auto settings. This is in PLOG. We haven't even gotten to that yet, but I wanted to just kind of make this point that this card is very powerful. This color correcting card is very powerful. It makes it super simple and easy. Obviously, you can color correct without the use of this Xrite color correction video passport card. You can do that. It's a painstaking process. I haven't mastered it, so this is a no-brainer for me. Oh, and by the way, I had the white balance on the ANAFI set to sunny. All right, and I recommend that you always set your white balance on any drone. That way it doesn't change as you fly around, because it's going to change, right? As lighting conditions change, as you're panning and changing direction and so forth. So it's correcting some of that as well. And once you've got it corrected the way you want, now you can make adjustments. Now you can put a LUT on it. Now you can do this, that, and the third. Let's get to that now. Okay, so here we are. Here's the timeline. As you can see, I have 2 clips here. Now this first clip is where I'm holding up the color checker. So you can see that here. And the second clip is actually the flight plan that I did with the ANAFI. Now the lighting conditions are the same. So once you correct this under the same lighting and everything like that, same scene, you can just basically apply that to the rest of the clips. Okay, so the best way of going about that is by doing it in an adjustment layer. So I've got an adjustment layer here. I'm going to pull down, and there we go. And I'm actually going to duplicate this a couple of times because I like to put a little sharpening on here. We're just going to do 5 because the ANAFI is already pretty sharp. And then here, this is where we're going to bring over the MBR Color Corrector 3. So we're going to pull that over right there. Okay, so here you can see the color corrector right here. All right, now you're going to need to move the clip to a spot where you've got everything in focus, everything in the frame. And it was a bright sunny day, so there was some glare on the color checker. So I moved it around a little bit just to make sure I got a good capture of the color checker. Okay, because that's going to be important, because the software is going to automatically recognize it. Okay, it's going to automatically recognize it. Okay, so let's set this up. So the first thing you're going to want to do, come to input here and this transfer function. You're going to want to change this depending on how you shot the footage. In this case, we're just going to pick Rec 709. Okay, we're going to pick that. And then we're going to come down and we're going to select the card type. Okay, we're using the Xrite Color Checker Passport Video. Okay, so you can see what happens. These 2 cards become the same now. Okay, now you don't want to do anything in the target for the target area. You want to stay in source. See where it says find card in frame? Click on that and then let it do its work, and you'll see what happens here in just a moment. Okay, as you can see, we have this box around the color checker now. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in because I want to make sure that it is around the perimeter and it's not missing any of the color boxes. It doesn't look like it is. I think we're in good shape here. Now, I haven't had to manipulate these corners at all. I've done this several times so far. So this find card in frame works extremely well. Pretty amazing software here. Okay, so we're good to go now. All right, and you can see what happened already. I'm gonna turn this off so you can see that. See this? Isn't that cool? No yellow tint. That yellow hue isn't there. Look at that. You could pretty much say you're done right there, but we're going to do a little bit more now. Guys, I need to make a quick parenthetical insertion here. So after you click on Find Card in Frame and it finds the card and it makes that initial adjustment, you're going to need to scroll down to Output. You remember we did Input up here. We changed it to Rec 709. We're going to do something similar here, Output. We're going to change this. In my case, I just wanted to output to Rec 709, but obviously if you're filming in HLG or one of these other formats, I think there's S-Log here. You can see the options you have. I'm outputting to Rec 709. Boom. You can see the slight adjustment that happened there. There's some other things you can do here. You can even save this as a LUT. But for the purposes of this video, we're just talking about how to grade PLOG. And that's one important step there that I want to make sure we don't miss. All right, back to the originally scheduled programming. Okay, so as we scrub ahead now, we're going to go to our flight plan, and you can see that's been applied to the clip because we're using this adjustment layer here. And let me turn it off so you can see the difference. So this is PLOG, and this is PLOG color corrected. See that? Now, I could not do this on my own to save my life. So if you're like me and you want to take advantage of the log profile that the ANAFI has, man, this is the way to do it. Okay, now that we've corrected things, okay, now we can go in and we can start making changes. And when I say making changes, now we can start applying LUTs and changing the saturation and the colors and doing some cool stuff with it now. Okay, so let's go ahead and use our third adjustment layer, and I'm going to just do Lumetri color here, and then let's go to Lumetri. I'm actually going to move over to color. Okay, and what I want to do right off the bat is I want to try out this ANAFI LUT. Okay, let's try out the ANAFI LUT. Okay, I'm going to bring down the intensity. Looks like it's adding in some blue, quite a bit of blue, and some contrast. I think that looks really good. Maybe a little bit too much contrast, and I could probably reduce some saturation a little bit like that. You know, you just play around with it. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna play it and turn it off and back on, off and on. I think that looks pretty decent. I did that really quickly, so you know, I could definitely tweak this and play around with it more, but for my money, this is great because when I tried grading PLOG without following this process, the colors were just wrong. I couldn't get the saturation right. It just was a hot mess. So man, this is such a lifesaver. The biggest expense is going to be the color checker. Now, again, I recommend getting the Xrite because it's going to be the most accurate based on the research I've done. The other less expensive ones, they will work. They'll get you there, but it'll be slightly off. The colors will be slightly off. It won't be as accurate, as a better way for me to put it. It won't be as accurate as the color checker based on the research I've done. So here we are. All of the shots are in Cinema 4K at 24 frames per second. I did a full video explaining Cinema 4K for the ANAFI, so check that out if you're interested. So we have PLOG straight from the ANAFI on the left, Then with the color correction, then to the right of that, I added a LUT. And then just for context, I have the natural profile with the color checker correction there. First observation is the colors in the PLOG shots. PLOG corrected looks good, but the sky is a little oversaturated, but I like it. I like that deep, rich blue looking sky. And with the LUT applied, the sky actually has more of a teal hue to it, which I don't like as much, but that's part of that creative process. It just depends on the look you're going for when applying LUTs or when making your own adjustments. But the level of detail that's been retained in both of the corrected PLOG shots is definitely noticeable. Just better dynamic range overall compared to the natural profile. That's really my main purpose for wanting to take advantage of PLOG. Okay, here's PLOG, and then the color correction. Here's PLOG, and then correction with the LUT. And here's the natural profile. And then with the color correction. So what do you think? I'm happy now because I can actually start using PLOG and playing around with it, and that was my objective the whole time. Hopefully this helps you do the same. I have a ton of ANAFI content on my channel, all the way from the unboxing 2 years ago, all the way up to today. So check those out if you're interested in this drone. And as always, be good to somebody and be good to yourself. Hey, if you watched this video until the end, you're the best. Thank you. Later.